Hi, it's Fliss, and welcome back to the Language and Communications Mastery series. So, I want to talk to you today about the remaining three of the Satir hand gestures. Those of you who are following along on the hashtag ZenCommsMaster will know that we've already covered two of those. We've talked about the placator and we've talked about the blamer. But for those of you who are new to this, Virginia Satir was an American relationship and family therapist, very, very prominent in the 80s and into the early 90s. She discovered that the use of five very distinct and very specific hand gestures could engender a reliable emotional connection in the people that were being communicated with. And this was picked up as part of neurolinguistic programming. It was something that was taught to people to be very deliberate in their communication. And from a business perspective, it can be wildly powerful when used correctly. So we've covered off placator. I'm doing this standing up today so I can actually show you a little bit more and show you hands. So we have a placator here. Placator is when you actually have your hands down kind of at this level and it's very much open palms. You might bob your hands. It's pleading. From a power balance perspective, you are gifting your power to the people that you're communicating with. We've also talked about blamer, which is the Donald Trump as it's now known, where you would sit with your hand on your hip and you would have a pointed finger that you may use to punctuate what you have to say. Blamer is wildly powerful when you want your audience or the person that you're communicating with to take responsibility. Now, there are three others. Leveler. Now, leveler is one of my favorites, and it's a firm favorite of politicians the world over. Just watch Barack Obama when he's at his best, and he does leveler like a complete pro. Leveler is actually palms facing down. And what you will use, you're going to have your elbows quite relaxed and in. Leveler is what you will use alongside quite a neutral, balanced, modulated tone of voice. And essentially what you're saying is enough. Drawing an end, you can trust me. I'm leveling with you. I'm trustworthy. And what you're going to do is you're going to very gently push your hands down. Now, you'll use that 2 or 3 times. You're not looking at bouncing. This isn't some kind of a kind of fitness exercise. You're just looking at applying downward pressure. So to give you context of where that might work, I might say to you, while I'm presenting, I might say to you, I say enough. We have had enough. We have done enough. The time is right. I'll then put my hands back to neutral and I may move on with some other hand gestures. So essentially think of it as I am leveling with you. Now, you also have the computer, and the computer is great. If you're perhaps less so within a board setting, slightly more within a wider group setting, but if you want someone to feel that you're giving really considered thought to whatever they're talking about, use the computer. And that's going to be a single finger up here, thumb, and you may well, I'm going to move back again, you may well have your hand here and rest. So this is 100% saturation of computer. I'm really giving that some thought. Now that can work on a stage, but you can reduce some of it. You can let the hand go. You can reduce the thumb from under the chin. What you might find is just actually resting a finger on a cheekbone. That can work in a smaller setting in a boardroom. What you're doing when you're using this is gifting someone the ability to trust that you are listening and giving due care and thought to whatever they're saying. It allows people to feel heard. And quite often, once they've said their piece, they're ready to hear what you have to say. So that can be powerful in negotiations. Another of the hand gestures, or the fifth of our 5, is the distractor. Now, the distractor is hugely useful when you are looking at almost shrugging your shoulders. So you're distracting from your role in something. Imagine standing on stage and something goes horribly wrong and you want to distance yourself from that. You would use the distractor. You're not going to have a straight spine. You're going to find yourself at a bit of an angle. Your hands and your arms, everything is about asymmetry, and it's about being big, and it's about being bold, and it's about doing things that are just a little bit crazy and you just having a bit of a moment. What you're essentially doing is distracting from the linear run of whatever you were doing, and you're moving people into a new path. So just to confirm, we have 5 of the Satir hand gestures. We have the blamer, we have the placator, we have the leveler, we have the computer, and we have the distractor. I hope that you are able to apply those into your own everyday communication and language, and would love to hear how they land. Do get in touch, do share any feedback or comments in the message below, and look out for the hashtag ZenCommsMaster to pick up and follow up with any future language and communications mastery insights. Thanks so much.